Hello, this is a reading for Pisces. We're doing a bit of a zodiac update, impromptu, just decided to do some zodiac readings. We're recording them on the live stream. So you can check us out there on Twitch. It's the same name as this channel, Tarot Lady in a Church. If you've come about finding this reading in a different way, and you're seeing it after the fact, which is inevitable for everyone except for 10 people right now. Oh, wow. The Sun and the Death card right away for Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. The Sun in Scorpio. And you know what? Somebody on the chat pointed out that Pisces is going through something. The Pisces Sun is going through something of a Scorpio thing. A big transformation. Big transformation. Do you know when the light is so bright that you can't see? The irony there. This is what I'm sensing in this Sun card. It's that, not that it's invisible, it's just so much. It's so big. 10 of Materials. We've got this kind of like, love anyway, go there anyway kind of vibe to the readings, especially for the water signs. So you might not be much different. There might be a commit to it anyway. Sometimes change is so much all at once that there's just no way of seeing what's about to happen or where it's going. Much like the sun can be so bright sometimes that you can't see ahead of you. Of course, if you can't see and you're driving on a road, then that's maybe a problem. But in general, it's not necessarily because you don't understand it or because you can't depict it all with your understanding doesn't mean that it's not something that you would actually want, or it doesn't mean that it's not something wonderful. Sometimes there can be too much wonderful. There can be too much awesomeness coming your way. I do see it's awesome, whatever it is. It's people are going to say, wow. Wow. You're going to, wow. Something's happening. I almost get a sense of a birth of a baby. Like how it's just such an amazing thing. Wow. This changes everything. This image is kind of confirming my sense that maybe there's somebody who's going to hear this reading who's going to be having a baby soon. Like a birth, a delivery. Something amazing, something so amazingly bright, something so life-altering. I'm really sorry, but because it's such a surprise, because it's such an unexpected thing. I just feel like I'm reading those shows about, I didn't know I was pregnant, and then there's somebody on an airplane and they just start, going into labor, and they're what? And they find out exactly at that moment. It's kind of like that, really unexpected. So I don't know if that's possible, but there may be somebody who watches this who's not realizing they're pregnant. Or maybe not, you could know, and it's maybe not recognizing how life-altering it's going to be. So there's really, in that sense, or this change is so life-altering in that same sense that it's not really something that you can make sense of before you go all in. You go all in. You say, yes, I will be doing this. Queen of Materials. There is evidence. I'm seeing there's evidence, and there's the Tower. Oof. Okay, much like a birth, we're being asked to compare this to a birth. Like birth, death and rebirth is definitely a Scorpio kind of energy, right? And Pisces is going through some kind of a Scorpio transformation. Maybe check out the Scorpio reading as well. There might be something in there for you. There's evidence of the fact that it's a life-altering thing. There's evidence of just maybe you've got a good handle on just how life-altering it is. It's probably even more than you can even see. But I think you've got a good handle on it. Like, I don't think that there's you committing, without knowing a thing about something. It's that this is generally, there's like a general sense of awareness that's presenting. It's presenting as a good opportunity. It's presenting as something that you want. It's not without evidence. So Pisces, I know Pisces can get a bit, all or nothing sometimes, a bit dramatic sometimes, not as a fault, just more, we need the drama just like anything else. So thank you for holding up that end of the bargain. And also, it isn't true, is it, that you don't know much about this opportunity or this change or this event? Much like if you were pregnant and you were about to give birth to a baby and you really can't fathom how much this is going to change your life. However, there's a good solid history of humanity in its entirety of people giving birth to babies and saying, this just changed my life completely. It's not like it's a mystery that there's going to be a change like this. So it's not like you're going all in on something you don't know what it's going to do to you. It comes with a system almost, or, there's support. There's a network. If it's only just the fact that so many people have gone through a change like this before. Nevertheless, much like the delivery process or giving birth, it's a tower. It's a shock. It's like nothing else. It is a cataclysm. It can be for the most beautiful reasons, and it's interesting how life starts like this. Life starts with one of the biggest changes you'll ever experience. Of a life before you knew outside the womb, and into a life where now you can't go back. That's a shock of a change, It's a trauma. It's like our first trauma is being born. To say that there's something... I'm almost hearing like join the club when it comes to trauma. And I don't mean to downplay any particular traumatic event. It's just a matter of every person is born into this world with trauma as their first experience. We have a solid body of experience with this just by being born. It's meant as an encouragement. It's not meant as to diminish whatever other traumas you've experienced since. It's really just to say, you can do this. You've been through probably the worst trauma, unless you've been in like a really bad car accident, like in terms of physically, like physical transformation. If it's a mother if it's somebody who's about to give birth to a baby, and there's a worry or something about, what that's going to do to your body. Do you know what it did to your body when you were born? If you were born, well, even if you were born by other means like cesarean section or something, that's still traumatic. Your body changed so incredibly and so much in just the span of a few hours. Everything changed. Your whole environment, everything. So not only did your body change, your environment changed. You were asked to use pieces of you that had never been used before, and you were asked to open your eyes, and you were asked to breathe, and all in the same day, you were asked to squeeze through a little tunnel. You were asked to learn how to eat. You were asked how to, like with your mouth, you were asked to learn how to open your eyes. You were asked to breathe with your lungs. You were asked to be around other people. And like, yeah, you maybe sensed other people before, but you never smelled their breath before. All the smells, the sights, everything was brand new. Like the trauma just in experiencing brand new things. There's some resonance in the chat about the birth, some people's birthing processes being pretty challenging. It looks to me like you've committed to something in much in that same way of like committing to having a baby. It would be, and it's going to involve this delivery process. And it's almost time. There's no turning back, or, I mean, what would turning back or do now, you know? There's no turning back. Maybe somebody found out they were pregnant before, after that was viable to not see it through in terms of like whatever laws exist in their country or state, or maybe it got to be too late to have a decision. Three of Voices. Maybe you didn't intend it. Maybe you didn't want for it to happen. Or maybe you didn't mean for it to happen. You know, it's not... Maybe not wanting for it to happen is as common as wanting for it to happen, and we can be just a little bit more liberal about how freely we talk about that stuff, just to make it a little bit more comfortable for those who are stuck with these stigma. I don't want this change. I don't want to go through change, is what Pisces is telling me. I don't want to. This never should have happened, or something like that. Or it's dramatic. And yes, but also what I would call a drama is when, like, what's this for? What is this serving? It's a bit sulky. But I don't want to be mean. I just want to say, Pisces, sometimes you might get into this kind of woe is me type thing, or maybe not. Maybe I'm totally reading this wrong. There could be something here that really shouldn't have happened to you, and I don't think we need to tell you that you need to just get over it and get into it because it's happening. But that's kind of like, there's a part of me that wants to tell you that. There's a part of me that wants to tell you to just get used to the idea that this is happening. But we got to save some room for this Three of Voices, because there's something about it that maybe feels unfair. The change part. I don't want to change. It's not fair. The Fool. Yet change is just to come in whether you want it or not. Ooh, I'm getting so mean. I hear myself being mean to you, and so it's maybe just really hard to say something in a moment like this that doesn't sound mean. Change doesn't discriminate. Change isn't stopped or influenced. Change isn't even paying attention to what it's coming to affect. Change is basically just rolling around like the chaos it is. It's like, are you taking a major life event personally the change itself, the fact that you have to change, that something is going to change? Are you taking it personally, like, I don't want to change? I've been so good to life. Why is life being so mean to me? And sometimes we forget about where we came from. That our life started out with a very clear depiction of what it was going to be like. It's going to be changing, and it's going to be changing faster than you're ready for. And you're going to go through ebbs and flows with that, and it's fair to be upset about it. And your upset won't have an effect on whether or not it happens. So things can happen together. You can be upset, and change can be ruthless. And neither of them can be connected to one another. And that can be just the nature of it. That you can go through pain and also deliver a change into your life that is the most joyous thing. And some people go through the delivery process in a relatively pain-free manner, and other people have really difficult processes. And none of it dictates how awesome the thing is that comes out on the other end. They're just coexisting. That's it. Change, strength, Leo. And there's the candle. And a red. I'm wearing a red sweater, so there. Similarly, if you're going through a change, other people's upset about you changing is a coexisting event. It's not something that has the ability to affect the change that you're going through. This is the type of transformation that is going to happen no matter who reacts to it how, or no matter who experiences it how. It's like if somebody sees you through the process of opening up to change and then is upset that you've changed. A little bit like that. What if someone is upset that you've changed? Then they're upset, is the answer, Pisces. Then they're upset. Then that means the change happened and someone is upset. We've got to decouple those things. That's what's in the cards. Five of materials. I guess it's a weird way of putting things in a dichotomy, I guess, but change and loyalty are two separate things. Someone can be expressing sadness for a way that you've changed. That doesn't take away their loyalty to your change or your growth or your development. Or someone can be crying when a baby is born, and that doesn't mean that they're upset about it. But then again, I'm seeing upset. Someone can be moved to tears in a moment when you've changed, or when something has changed. Someone can be moved to tears. Someone can be very upset in a moment of change. And in that moment, if you still have a perception that their upset has the ability to influence the nature of your change, or that your change is supposed to not upset anybody, or that there's supposed to be a connection there, that it's supposed to be wonderful, that good development shouldn't have sadness in the middle of it. We're talking about a scenario where you haven't gone all in on something. You haven't been loyal to something that's being loyal to you. If someone has the loyalty to you to be upset about something, to have emotion and to voice those emotions about something, it's kind of indicating that they're on your side in a way, that they're here to observe you and they're here to feel the way they do about it. And if you're of the opinion that they ought not have feelings, at least not negative ones or undesirable ones about the changes you have to go through that are imposed on you, that aren't your fault, then maybe they're not upset about the change. Maybe they're upset because you took your loyalty away. Maybe they're upset because they're agreeing to witness you and you're not agreeing to witness them. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they're genuinely being upset and maybe you're going to have to take away your involvement in this thing for a little bit because maybe it's not really pleasant or in alignment with the changes you're going through. Maybe people are supposed to be happy for you when you change in these ways. And maybe that's what you need right now. I don't want to say anything more about what needs to happen, what should or whatever. Pisces, you're the one who knows. But we're being asked to decouple the way other people feel about things that they're committed to witnessing and the nature of the thing as being kind of outside of your control. People are allowed to be sad about things you don't intend. And by the same right, you're allowed to change in ways that make someone go through upset. This is all part of the nature of things. It's how we're born. We start out this way. It's all this way. Babies cry when they're born. They're very upset. Like 99% of babies are super upset when they're born. Meanwhile, it's the most beautiful thing. But they're upset for very physical reasons, discomforts. It's a lot. It's trauma. You change sometimes in ways you don't mean to that traumatize others. And it's not your fault. But it's also an event that happens in life. This isn't very promising. I'm kind of like, well, what can you do? That's the reading. What can you do, Pisces? I don't know. Strength is here. The Tower is here. Don't forget how much the same we are. We've all been through these moments, starting with the moment of our birth. Oh, I'm just seeing this pattern here that's quite literally on underneath the cloth. Wow. In my red, I'm just noticing in the it's very, and I'm a Leo. Maybe I'm here to tell you you're not the only one. You're not alone in this. And maybe there are places where you can go, like this idea here of the Queen of Materials, that there are places where you can go and seek out, basically, be around people. If you're going through a particular change, like even if it is that you're pregnant and you're about to give birth and you're afraid that of the way your life is going to change and how it's going to upset people, or maybe even just kind of a silly little fear that you're going to hurt the baby, as it's coming out. That there are resources for this, and that's what I'm getting. And you can maybe take comfort in some words from people who have been through it, these types of changes. Who knows? Or maybe and maybe the very people who you're worried about upsetting are the very people who have something for you. Because they're the ones who are committed to seeing you through it, even if it means crying a little bit. that's for you, Pisces. I'm going to stop it there. And we're going to do more readings, so feel free to check out the other ones and come see us on Twitch. Terralina Church. Thanks so much. Bye.